This is a cedar tree, I think. Or at least it used to be. I noticed I can wiggle it, and I wondered if it was structurally sound enough to use for any unicycling feature. But first it had to come down. I was 90% sure this wasn't alive anymore, but it still might make good skinny material, as long as I can move it to where I wanted the skinny to go. I used this old rim I found last year to get it moving, and it worked fairly well. Until it didn't. Eventually, trying to do this efficiently actually started to take a lot more effort than just dragging it. So I just started dragging it. With the tree in its final place, I propped it up away from the ground just in case any ground contact allowed for continued rot. I wasn't sure at this point if I could use it for anything and intended to do some more brainstorming the next day. But then it snowed. For like a month straight. When we finally got a few days above freezing, I went back out and I threw some other dead logs in a very haphazard way just to keep the tree steady. If I knew this was going to work, I would have planned out things a little bit more and used some less questionable wood. But since I wasn't sure if the tree would just crack in half at some random point, I did a job that was just good enough. But since this is all still in one piece, I got the chainsaw and started milling out a flat surface. I wanted to be careful to only take a little bit off the top. This wouldn't make for much riding surface, but the intent was to keep as much structural integrity of the tree as possible, since I wasn't too sure if it had enough left as it is. The final product looked like this. However, I still wanted to sturdy the end of the tree a bit, so I went back over and grabbed the old rim and slapped it on the end for support. And after shifting things around and doing some adjusting, I was ready to try it out. It took just a little while to get dialed.
Alright, it moved but it didn't break.
Taking this tree and making a mellow feature near the top of the trail was a fun experiment that worked out pretty well. If it was a little bit warmer, it would have probably taken just a day. I think this trail still needs a lot of work, but taking risks of using what I already have will ensure I get a lot of features up in a short period of time, and they will demand some creativity. Plus, that's half the fun, throwing things together and seeing if they're going to actually work. But as our reward, we have a new feature right around the first bend of the trail. That's not even finished yet. I also gave the features difficulty levels as well. If I wasn't testing things out and getting lucky, I'd plan things out a little bit more, but I do like how this skinny has some character. Let me know in the comments what I should build next if you have some ideas, and consider subscribing if you want to see how this trail keeps progressing in 2025. Thanks everyone and good luck.
I didn't plan it out to have your crank horizontal here. That actually just happened by accident.